What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. So Donald Trump and his administration are trying to dismantle the ICC, right? Because they don't believe that Americans should be held accountable on an international scale, when it comes to war crimes, and murdering heads of state, right? And starting illegal wars and participating and funding genocide. They don't believe, they think it's ridiculous that any American soldier or politician or persons in charge who conducted all these illegal international activities should be held accountable at all. They find it ridiculous that an international court would do its job and prosecute people on an international basis. You see, it was fine. It's fine when, they go to Africa and they pick out one of their dictators that decide not to be a dictator anymore, and they decide to charge him on the international court. You see, it's fine when America wants to charge some Asian or some Latin or some African leader or warlord or, business partner when they don't, lay down the way they're supposed to lay down when America say lay down, right? They're all fine for having some European court, in The Hague prosecute and put these heads of state of the world, in jail and never to be seen again. They're fine with that. That's okay, right? But when it comes to precious white folk, oh, no. No, not us. No, we're special. Keep in mind, white supremacy doesn't believe that they're supposed to follow the law at all. No, they make the law for everybody else, but they don't have to follow the law. They're allowed to do whatever they want. All right? And that's the way America thinks it's supposed, white America thinks it's supposed to be. Now, do you really think this has something to do with American troops? Absolutely not. You know why? Because The Hague, right, they don't have any warrants out for any American troops. They don't have any warrants out for any American politicians conducting terrorist activity around the world or sponsoring terrorism all around the world. But you know who they do have a warrant out for? You know who has a warrant out for his arrest by the ICC? Benjamin Netanyahu. Israeli IDF soldiers. Yeah, they're getting arrested left and right. They can't even go on vacation. They're getting arrested left and right. There's certain countries they can't go to. It's that bad. So the United States or the United States of Israel, all right, our politicians, the Republican politicians, are trying to dismantle an entire global system on behalf of Israel because they don't want Israel to be held responsible for the genocide in Palestine or for the illegal war in Lebanon or for bombing all these other countries unnecessarily. They don't want to charge Benjamin Netanyahu for putting bombs and beepers and blowing up random people in random countries. You know how absolutely illegal and sadistic that was to put bombs and beepers and have them randomly go off in random places? Yeah. You know how illegal it is to assassinate heads of state on purpose? You're supposed to be on code with that. No heads of state is supposed to be targeted, right? But apparently Israel can do whatever they want. They can target heads of state. They can murder babies. They systematically murdered babies, destroyed all hospitals, and they don't, God forbid, they're held accountable for any of that. Because, ooh, Muslims bad. Ooh, Muslims bad. Oh, they want to destroy it. Why do you think anybody would want to destroy or eliminate or get rid of, Israel? I mean, can you think, maybe just take 5 minutes and just, let's do the red line. Let's red line it, right? Let me be devil's advocate, right? And let's see if we can come up with a couple reasons why a group of people would maybe not like Israel or think that Israel should not exist. I mean, I can think of a few. I don't know. It didn't take me that long, right? So once again, the United States of Israel and American taxpayer money is going to fund the dismantling of an international court, right, that is meant to hold accountable heads of state on an international level. Because America want to make sure that Israel and all of its terrorist governmental officials can get away with the most ridiculous, the most evil activities a human being could possibly come up with and do without being held accountable. That's the world we live in. That's where your taxpayer money goes, to Israel, right? While we're about to, America's about to lose all kind of benefits and people are about to be struggling even further than they're already struggling, America will make sure that Israel is thoroughly taken care of. Make sure their health care is taken care of. Make sure their housing is taken care of. Make sure they can fly back and forth, fourth class, back and forth wherever they want to go, taken care of. Make sure all those pedophiles are taken care of, because that's the home of the pedo, Israel. That's the vacation spot for all pedos who get caught on the international, stage. When they get caught, they get to go to Israel and live out their lives with their brethren. All right, the Epstein class and the IDF, all of them. This is disgusting. Listen, I just want the world to know African American foreign policy would not be like white American foreign policy. If African Americans took over America, we would not have any issue with Iran. We would not have any issues with the Arab world. We wouldn't have issues with China. We would not be the enemy of the world. If black people took over, if we had enough control of the government, the House, the Senate, the judiciary, the White House, our foreign policy would be completely and totally different from this white savage barbarian that's continued to rape, murder, pillage, and plunder by another name every goddamn 10 years when they manifest a new goddamn name to call themselves, or they call it they're plundering, they're raping, and they're murdering, and they're enslaving, and they're fucking disenfranchisement by new governmental names that don't make no goddamn sense, and policies and shit. This is ridiculous. Anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this in the comments section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
The United States is openly launching an initiative to dismantle the International Criminal Court that they are calling a whole-of-government approach to systematically disabling the tribunal's ability to operate. Now, they've listed several actions under consideration, one being, quote, increased scrutiny of nations that refuse to reject the ICC's false authority while relying on U.S. assistance, including increased sanctions and travel bans for ICC personnel and affiliated organizations. Now, some analysts are calling the timing of this perplexing. However, I don't really think that it's perplexing at all. While America is not a signatory to the Rome Statute, Americans can still be prosecuted if they commit abuses in areas that are. Meaning all of those Americans that go over to Israel and join the IDF to commit a genocide in Gaza, yep, they can be prosecuted. Moreover, over the last 3 years, there has been increasing pressure from the ICC on Israel, something that America has responded to by laying sanctions, travel bans, the list goes on ICC officials. Now, American officials are claiming that they're doing this in the name of protecting American sovereignty, but let's be honest. They're doing this to dismantle any semblance of an international rule-based order. They're doing this to protect Americans and Israelis from any consequences whatsoever from committing some of the most heinous crimes you can imagine in the pursuit of America and Israeli interests.
Common sense is what the American people voted for when they voted Donald Trump back into office. We know that also the Wall Street Journal out with an op-ed from Secretary of State Marco Rubio about his move to dismantle the International Criminal Court. The so-called court wants to try and imprison U.S. citizens, military, officials outside of our laws and Constitution. So how could that all be legal? And can you elaborate on this a little bit?
Well, this goes back to our Declaration of Independence, to our founding. The fact that we have always objected to overseas courts trying Americans for pretended offenses, as those founding documents say. The Secretary citing those documents in a video just released. This is fundamentally about our sovereignty, and we are seeing globalist bureaucrats trying to target American citizens, American service members, trying to target Border Patrol agents, trying to target ICE officials, trying to target and threatening elected American officials. This is about our sovereignty, and as Secretary Rubio said, if the ICC continues to try to threaten our sovereignty, they will know the full power of American resolve.
All right, Toby Pickett, great to have you with us this morning. Thank you for taking the time.
Thanks for having me on. Thank you.
The Trump administration's decision to, quote, dismantle the International Criminal Court just proves something I've been saying for a very long time, which is that even from a conservative, America First angle, the United States should have been part of the ICC. Because what the Trump administration is about to learn is that you cannot demolish a house that you weren't allowed anywhere near. You need to have access to the court to have any real power there. Yes, this will be a pain in the ass for members of the ICC, and yes, it may slow down their work to some extent in certain areas, but the Trump administration fundamentally cannot dismantle the court the way they seem to think it can. And the thing is, previous presidents knew this. Why do you think the United Nations is structured in the way that it is? We made the international legal system, and then we just so happened to be at the very top of it with veto power over anything that they try to do. Like, no, it wasn't a fluke. This was actual America First strategy. We built the system before anybody else could, and we made sure to put guardrails in to make sure they can never actually use it against us. Like, as somebody who is more of an internationalist, I hate that America has this much control over the international order. But conservatives hate the international order because they're too stupid to understand its design.
All I'm saying is usually the good guys historically are not the ones trying to dismantle an international criminal court that's trying to hold people that are committing war crimes responsible.
Today, powerful people in faraway places want to take that away from us. They believe that they should be in charge of your laws, of your country, your life, and they don't care whether or not you agree.
For whatever reason, I have this iniquitous feeling that all of a sudden we hate the ICC because they're the only ones that are actually trying to hold us accountable for blowing up 150 children, girls, at a school. Because, hello, somehow we're still fucking investigating. And that means nobody's been held accountable. That means nobody has gone to prison. That means no one has even lost their job. But 150 school girls were killed. As an American, yeah, I want whoever okayed that strike to be held accountable, whether they're on the American side or on the greatest liability side. Somebody has to pay for killing 150 school children. That's normal.
Halfway across the world, there's an institution that calls itself the International Criminal Court. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. But chances are you don't know the names of its judges, of its prosecutors, or its president.
See, Marco the Narco, you're saying that like it's a bad thing when it's not. I would rather have people that have no skin in the game hold people accountable for obvious crimes. Because it seems like we never hold ourselves accountable, ever. Because now when we look at the tape, Iraq, Afghanistan, we was doing some bugged out, vociferous shit that motherfuckers should be in prison right now for that. But we don't hold ourselves accountable because for whatever reason, we live above the law when it comes to killing people that are of Muslim descent.
As we speak, the ICC and its friends are waging a war against our country, not with bullets or missiles, but with statutes, compacts, and the force of so-called international law.
So-called international law? Are we trying to say we don't believe in that either? And there's a little fun fact of countries in the world that accept the ICC. As you can see, we were one that signed on, but then signed off because they were like, wait, y'all about to hold us accountable too? Nah, we ain't with that. Now, the countries that are not with the ICC are countries you're supposed to hate, supposedly. China, or Russia, India, Israel. Well, not them. They're our greatest ally, of course.
When the ICC was born 24 years ago, they told us that it was merely a narrow backstop, a global court that would step in to prosecute only the gravest offenses, things like genocide and war crimes, and only when a nation's courts were unable to prosecute them on their own.
Yep, like this guy. They are supposed to be moving, grooving, vibing, sliding, and going to take him out. But they can't because we're telling them not to. And who's not gonna hold them accountable? Their own country. So really, the ICC was invented for genocidal maniacs, just like this one. But now we're saying that's our friend, that's our boy, even though, you know, we're all goy-goyim, that's a separate conversation. But no, ICC, you can't go get the person that has now killed over 200,000 women and children over the last 2 years. That's our ally.
It was something far more radical and extreme. It was a global tribunal staffed by unelected globalist bureaucrats who claim their power is almost unlimited. The danger of this global court has only continued to grow. Today, it threatens every aspect of our political and legal system.
I want you to think real quick in history, when has the ICC ever been out of pocket for who they were charging with war crimes? And the only time it has been is black guys. And they're like, wait, we actually didn't have enough evidence. You told us the dude in Congo was wilding the fuck out. But for the reason, these two are untouchable. We have the guy that's all in the files, rape, possible murder, and we have somebody that, you know, this is proven on camera of how genocidal he is. If none of us are gonna do anything, that's where the ICC steps in. Because clearly, our countries are both occupied. Because even though our populations hate these motherfuckers, you guys don't do anything.
Border Patrol agents removing violent criminals from our country. American Marines risking their lives to defend our homeland. Prosecutors working to dismantle terrorist plots to attack and kill Americans. If we stand idle, all of them would be at the mercy of foreign judges thousands of miles away, facing the constant risk of prosecution and even imprisonment.
First off, I'm so sick of this stupid ass. They're defending our country. We have not been playing defense, nigga, since ever. We have constantly been on offense my entire life. Always defense, 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 defense. No, offense. Nigga, we putting up Kobe shots over there in international waters. Let's just get that out the way first. And then second, yeah, hold American soldiers accountable. If you have them on tape killing people that are innocent civilians, them niggas should go to prison. I don't give a fuck about, oh, there's so much mental trauma. Well, then don't go sign up for war.
For the so-called crime of defending their own country. The American people never agreed to any of this.
Actually, we did agree. And then 9/11 happened. All of a sudden, Bush was like, we can't be getting held accountable. We about to definitely go commit some war crimes. So we're not going to actually ratify that.
Read the words of our Declaration of Independence. We fought a revolution against a foreign power, transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses. Independence is our birthright. We will never let foreign bureaucrats take that away from us. This administration will not sit by as the ICC and its allies seek to threaten our people. If they believe they can deprive us of our sovereignty, we will teach them the full meaning of American resolve.
Yeah, because it makes sense to just end it with a threat against the ICC and every country that's for it. I mean, people, we are cooked. I'm just saying, once again, all the ICC does is try to hold people accountable for fucking war crimes and genocide. And for whatever reason, we're so scared that they're gonna come our way in our greatest liabilities way and start holding both of us accountable. And people are gonna go to prison that deserve to go to prison. So as an American, I don't really know what I can do at this point in time because it doesn't seem like our administration really listens to us at all. And that's bipartisan, left, right, same bird, like I've always said. But yeah, we're cooked. And in history books, shit is not gonna look good for us.
If I had blackmail on someone that could really damage not just their reputation, but obviously by default, the reputation of their entire family around them in their community and just tear them all down, and then they died, I would just take somebody else from that family and install them because the blackmail is still effective then. It doesn't waste all of my efforts. That's exactly what I would do.
Fearing possible investigation and prosecution, the Trump administration today has launched a full-throttled effort to isolate the International Criminal Court. According to new Reuters reporting, the administration via the State Department are looking at all aspects of ways to try to stifle the International Criminal Court's ability to prosecute Trump and other Trump administration officials. Now, the United States is not a party to the International Criminal Court, and Republican presidents specifically, including George Bush and now Trump, have long said that the ICC does not have sovereignty over any American, does not have the ability to investigate or prosecute any American. The ICC is responsible for prosecuting war crimes, genocide, etc. And while Trump long feared the possibility of an arrest warrant issued by the ICC, as that would prohibit his ability to travel to countries that do recognize the ICC's sovereignty. And so now he's launching a full-scaled effort to try to isolate the ICC in any way possible. Spread the word, follow along for all the news you need to know about.
Every accusation is a confession. I will not elaborate.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.